Hey, race fans, episode 5 of the Announcers Booth podcast presented by Rapid Graphics is here. Co-host Cody Boulware joins me on the show.
Yeah, today we also have Scott Angel on to talk about the Nebraska Dirt Crown Tour. That's coming at the end of March with all the prizes, giveaways, and contingencies for fans and drivers as well.
Also on the show today, the 4 Orange Salvage question of the day. And Cody and I talk about what it's like transferring from the car to the Announcers Booth. All this and more coming up next on the Announcers Booth podcast presented by Rapid Graphics. And a happy Wednesday morning to you, race fans. Welcome to the Announcers Booth podcast presented by Rapid Graphics. It is, it's a little chilly outside. I mean, well, let's face it, we're in the middle of winter right here, but it is Wednesday here again. We're here to talk racing, and joining me on the show today is a very good friend of mine, also fellow hobby stock driver, and we can put him up there in the announce booth as well as he's been in the announce booth. Cody Boulware, driver of the O2C hobby stock, and future announcer. Can we say that?
Future, there might be a career in it. I mean, I'm still addressing any complaints to PJ, but I mean, maybe it's definitely a blast up there. That's for sure.
Oh, it is. And I mean, I enjoyed the South Dakota Nationals with you there in the announce booth. First time, dude, you killed it. I cannot say enough about it. Yeah, I hope we get the chance to soon to announce together again. But man, thanks for coming on the show, coasting with me. This is going to be an awesome show.
Yeah, definitely. It's weird because I never considered myself a driver, right?
Right.
And so my mom introduces me all the time as, "Hey, this is the race car driver." Well, now people are looking at me not only as a driver, but now after announcing, they're like, "Hey, this is the dude that announced at Raceway that one night."
Yeah.
And so it's weird because I'm like a very selfless person.
Oh, so am I.
But to have like this transition from one, not even considering yourself really a driver.
Right.
But now also transitioning over to the media aspect of it and the marketing side of things. I mean, it's really cool to sit back and think about it.
It's a whole different world out there. It really is. So for those of you that do not know who Cody is, I met Cody in 2019 when I was still racing hobby stocks and over at the new Raceway Park. He's basically grown up there, hobby stock driver himself. And he helped out with a broadcast announcing for the South Dakota Nationals at the new Raceway Park this past October, beginning of October. It was cold and a little rainy, but we made do. And Cody is just, like I say, he's become a good friend of mine, and he shares the show every day, every Wednesday when it releases. So I was like, you know what, Cody, we got to have you on the show. So here he is today, and let's get this started, man.
Yeah, definitely going from last year where I was just being interviewed and sounded like a blubbering idiot now to helping host and it coming up, we get to talk to Scott Angel.
Yeah.
I mean, and definitely this is an awesome experience, and I love listening to the show, as do I'm sure everybody out there. We share it every week. It gets a lot of likes. Definitely a good experience. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I mean, if you would have told me a year ago, I've co-hosted the Advantage Racing podcast and now doing my own. If you would have told me that a year ago, I never would have believed you, honestly. But here we are.
Right.
So we're going to talk about a few different things today. One thing though that we wanted to touch on is transitioning from the race car, from the driver's seat to the announcer's booth. And I kind of had that back in 2019. I was still racing and filled in for our friend PJ Pedersen in the announce booth a few times. And then was invited in there with him to finish out the 2019 season while still racing. And then, of course, going full time in 2020 after the bad wreck that I had. And I don't know if it was for you like it was for me, man, but it was tough at first. I mean, granted, you're still racing, but it was tough at first not being out on the track, but at the same time, being in the announce booth, it's like, this is different, but I just have that deal. Like, I feel like I connect with people better when I'm talking, and you've been out there on the track, you can educate the crowd on what's going on and, everything else around. That's how it was for me. What was your experience like being in the announce booth for the first time?
Well, I mean, a lot of it. And honestly, so at the end of the year, I hung up the helmet for the end of the year because Kelly had to have surgery.
Right.
For those of that don't know, that would be my wife, Kelly. Love her to death. She's my rock. Definitely very supportive of the racing, but she had to have surgery at the end of the year. And with having to help her out with that and be there, she had the same surgery you did.
Yep.
You know, so, and in those circumstances, it was time that I be supportive while she supports the racing all year. So I said, hey, we'll go ahead and quit racing for the end of the year. That's fine. It really wasn't the year I was hoping for anyway.
It was a tough year for everyone, though.
Yeah. Well, COVID on top of it.
Yeah.
Body panels. I don't know why I put brand new body panels on the car. I didn't need them. But, and then, so when I got the opportunity, and PJ had actually messaged me one day, he said, hey, did Scotty talk to you yet? And I said, no. He said, we want you to fill in for me.
Well, and I had been talking to PJ, and I said, yeah, you know, Cody had said, you know, he's always wanted to try his hand at announcing. You can't be there for the South Dakota Nationals because you had prior commitments with, you know, Domination Motorsports and some demolition derbies. And, of course, you know, the Friday, you know, he had to work late, so he couldn't be there. And he had messaged me. He's like, hey, have you talked to Cody yet? I was like, I was just about to call him. Why? And apparently that must have been around the same time he was still talking to you.
Right. Yeah. And it's like, yeah, sure. And then Jim Scott, he had to settle my nerves because it was like, yeah, I totally want to do this, but I'm in the wrong field of business. Like I work with people all day, every day.
Right.
Granted, it's not a face-to-face thing.
Yeah.
But I work with people all day, every day, but I don't hate people. I just hate crowds of people.
Yeah,
I've
had
I
the
have
same
that
thing.
anxiety, and it's like, yeah, cool, sweet, I want to do this. Yes, I'll do it. And then, like, on the way to the track, I'm looking at Kelly. I'm like, I forgot. There's like 3,000 people here. But Jim Scott was awesome. I mean, he calmed my nerves. He goes, "You'll do just fine. Just be yourself." I mean, and to hear that from the veteran Jim. And then the first day I was kind of timid, but we rained out.
Right.
And then the second day, like, I didn't have time to think about it. I was coming in just about the time Kevin Bruck lost that transmission.
Yep.
I was already running late because I had to work late because they bumped it up to fit 2 days into one.
Yep.
And I grabbed the mic, I went, and boom, that's all she wrote.
I remember you coming into the booth, and it's like, here's your mic, here's your headset. Hey, coming into the booth now, Cody Boulware joining me here. And, yeah, Cody, Kevin just lost a transmission. He's like, is that stuck on the track? I believe it is, and the rest is history.
Yeah. And, you know, and I got to give it to you guys because, don't get me wrong, racing is hard.
Yes,
There's nights when I pull into the infield, and definitely after the year I had, there's nights I pull into the infield, and I'm just spent. Like, I sit in my car for a good 5 to 10 minutes after the race just because I'm exhausted.
Yep, been there.
And I'm like, okay, well, this is announcing. I mean, yeah, we're good, right? But the fact of the matter is you're announcing at Raceway Park.
Yep.
You're announcing with Travis Barker battling out there with Jason Ward.
Yep.
With all those drivers. You're announcing with Chris Mills. You know, you're announcing the action. One of the best moves I seen was Rusty Montang went high on Demera, dove under him went high above him, split the difference, dove low under Penny to take the lead in that heat race, or that B feature, I think it was.
Yep.
And I mean, just that action, to have to call that action, one, to make sense, two, the constant action, like, I was exhausted.
Yeah, that's one thing, like, people really don't realize that it's the announcers. Yes, they make, you know, the racing more, like, kind of edge on your seat and more, like, what's the word I'm looking for here? Exciting.
Yeah.
But what they don't realize, and I think, you know, all of our co-announcers would agree, that after a, you know, good night of, you know, hard racing, door-to-door action, you, one, start to lose your voice, and two, you are exhausted because you've been doing that for about, you know, 3, 4, 5 hours or however long, you know, that race night is. So it does get exhausting, but you get used to it after a while.
Right. Yeah. I can't imagine Jerry Van Sickle, when you sit there at a night of the Super Nationals. I mean, him and Ryan Clark are literally the announcers from the drop of the first green to the last green.
Right.
And they call what, and I might be wrong, don't kill me, J Van, but like some 1,000 laps, I mean, they call, if not more.
Right.
that side of things. And J-Van's always pumped.
Oh, yeah.
He brings the excitement. I mean, and he makes, and you're always there, like he said before in the previous podcast, you're always there to watch the racing, but to have an announcer that is that exciting,
right,
you know, and that pumps it up that much more, it makes the action that much better on the track.
And it makes it much more enjoyable too, because I mean, just there's been times where I've heard announcers, and you know, they're coming off turn 4, here comes the green flag, and you got to make it, you know, put some anticipation into the crowd there, that, you know, that's something that they're looking for. And, you know, like Jerry said last week on the show, you know, if you're coming to listen to the announcers, then you've got the wrong priority. Right. You come to watch the drivers, but then again, you know, I'll put on top of that, you watch the drivers, they're the ones making it exciting, and you just have the little voice back there, which is us in the booth, you know, helping make exciting. And especially for the fans that are like watching from home, whether it be, you know, Advantage Racing TV, Flow Racing, or, you know, Dirt Vision or anything, those are the guys, you know, that also bring it to life for the people at home.
Right.
And I know you've said that on occasion, even like with the Aok iRacing series, with, you know, Sean Neestat, Jerry Van Sickle, and myself. It's like, you know, it's virtual racing on TV, online, but you feel like you're actually there. And these guys know how to put on a show as well, and it's just really exciting to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. And definitely when you're looking at the Aok iRacing series, and to hear these familiar voices that for the last 10, 15 years, I mean, I've been listening to Jerry Van Sickle. I've been watching the Super Nationals, anything IMCA related, any big show, he's there.
Right.
And then Sean Neestat, that's more of a new voice to me, but it's still a very familiar one, and definitely lately around the new Raceway Park, how many times he's come down there. And as I've been watching Advantage more and more, and expanding and watching all these different tracks. So to hear these guys, I mean, it definitely is, it's great.
I mean, that's how I kind of got into like the like announcer like mindset though. I mean, I grew up listening to Sean. I grew up listening to Jay Kelly and Joel Viss over at Rapid Speedway. And it just one day, I don't know what it was, it just kind of clicked in my head where I was kind of doing like starting lineups. And I would do it just for fun. You know, it's like, man, I wish I could be at the track right now. It's middle of December, and hey, yeah, you know, I'll just put a starting lineup together off the top of my head. And I did it for Ryan Dugan of Advantage Racing TV one time. He's like, you know, you're actually pretty good at that. And it got to the point where we were at a track one time, and we were having difficulties with the announcer's audio. And he's like, well, do you just want to do it ourselves? Sure. He's like, you know what you're doing. So, tell you what, let's tag team and do this together. All right. Yeah, sure. So, we did the heat races together, and Ryan's truck was actually being used for pace vehicle that night. So he actually went down to drive the pace vehicle for the features, and I ended up taking the features. But that's how I got my start at announcing. And then the one day PJ calls me and he says, hey, Leroy can't make it. Can you announce at the new Raceway Park tonight? And because I had told him before, yeah, I can announce, you know, I've done a couple shows on Advantage, no big deal. And like you said, on the way down there, it's like, what did I get myself into? This is, oh no, I opened my mouth and I shouldn't have said anything. But then, you know, after a while, you settle in and okay, yeah, this is great.
Right. And so we actually, this last weekend, and it came up about me announcing this last weekend.
Right.
And actually talking to a couple friends, was talking to RJ Merchant and Kyle Welch. We had to get together and watch the Chili Bowl and everything. And you always hear the expression of, you have a face for radio. and that may be the case. I don't know a lot of people that have been on the radio. And Scotty, I would crack the joke on you saying, you know this feeling.
Yeah.
But PJ had always told me anyway, he goes, you need to listen to it. Like, cause like for the first week afterwards, like I didn't want to listen to this. I hate how I sound.
Right.
And so I've cracked the joke time and time again of, well, not only do I have the face for radio, I clearly have the face and voice for racing. And they said, well, what do you mean by that? It's like, well, because I have the helmet on, nobody can see or hear me. But we actually got to talking to RJ about it, and everybody was kind of in agreement. It's like, we've all done it at some point, whether it's sitting here with Hot Wheels cars or sitting here playing PlayStation and announcing. And it's always, well, here comes Cody Boulware coming out of turn 4. Like, you've always announced to yourself.
Right, yeah.
And I mean, most of us are pretty quiet. Like, we don't want to hear, I don't want my wife to hear me announcing, my racing when I'm just racing on the PlayStation. Come down like, you're such a nerd. But in the meantime, it's always something I've wanted to do. Like you said, I grew up at the track. I know 99% of the drivers. The special was kind of different because there was a lot of drivers I didn't know. They pulled a really great crowd.
Thank God for my race pass.
Yes. And your phone died, which seems to be a habit with you.
Yeah, I know.
But it's definitely something that was a great experience. And like I said, like RJ and Kyle have said, we've all wanted, somebody as a little boy has imagined being an announcer at a racetrack or a radio talk show host at some point in their life.
And now you're doing both.
And now, well, yeah, with the podcast, absolutely now, yeah.
Right. And I mean, it's just an awesome feeling, though, just to help entertain the fans, and help the racing is exciting out on the track, but just to bring like a different view to it with, the voices in the background and whatnot. It's something really great. And I know I'm going to continue on doing it. And yeah, hopefully we get you back in the announce booth at some point. And yeah, it'd be great to announce you again, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I know I've tossed it around, and I've put it out there. Obviously, we've discussed this. I'm more of just the weekend racer,
Right.
I don't do much traveling. I have my kids and stuff at home, but I've tossed it out there like, hey, if I'm not racing and you need somebody to announce, last second deal, I mean, my hat's in the ring, so.
Absolutely. And I mean, it's always good to have that, that someone that you can rely on to, okay, I know Cody's going to be there and he's going to knock it out of the park. So yeah, it was fun at South Dakota Nationals. I cannot wait to do it again. And yeah, it's just, like I said, it was hard in transitioning from the driver's seat to the announce booth, but at the same time, to have both sides of it now, I wouldn't want it any other way.
Well, and what's really weird for me is and anybody that knows me knows my family. We've had a long conversation about it last year on the Advantage Racing podcast.
Yep.
I mean, literally been out there my whole life. The one seat in that whole complex I have never sat in was the announcer's booth. Ever. I mean, I had not even sat there when the announcers weren't there. And that is clear. Honestly, that's the best view in the house.
It is.
You see almost everything. I mean, and that was the best experience so far that I've had with racing, through the many heat race wins, the feature win, and the compact, to the good nights and bad nights in the hobby stock. The absolute best experience I've ever had in my life was doing the announcing.
Yeah, and it truly is a one-of-a-kind experience, and I hope to share with you that again. We're going to take a quick break and hear from one of our advertising partners in Fort Orange Salvage, and when we come back, we'll have the Fort Orange Salvage question of the day. Stay tuned.
Evicted tenants leave a mess behind? Have an old appliance that you're tired of staring at? Yard waste, branches, carpet, old furniture, other discarded items you just want gone? Well, Fort Orange Salvage can take it all away. Call Jamie at 605-376-8532 for a quote today, or you can find him on Facebook by searching Fort Orange Salvage -Junk Haulers. Contractless payment through Venmo or PayPal is also available. Quick, easy, and affordable junk hauling. Fort Orange Salvage. We pick things up and we take them away. Serving Sioux Falls, South Dakota and surrounding areas.
Welcome back to the Announcer's Booth podcast presented by Rapid Graphics. And got to say a happy birthday to Jamie, the man at the Fort Orange Salvage Junk Haulers. He celebrated a birthday this past weekend. So want to say happy birthday, Jamie. And that brings us to the Fort Orange Salvage question of the day. And yeah, so the question was, as you heard on last week's show and on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, wherever you saw it, what tracks are you planning on visiting in the 2021 racing season? So, we're going to kick things off right here. Cody, what tracks are you planning on visiting in the 2021 season in the hobby stock?
It's always still up in the air. Always is, always will be, kind of with me. But the new Raceway Park, it's my home track. Got to show it love. I did kind of want to branch out a little more. We made it Denison last year.
Right.
I'd like to go back to Denison, like to try off-road. And then hopefully, if all of the cards play out right, I'd like to finish up with going to the Super Nationals with my race car this year.
Yeah, you have yet to race Super Nationals, haven't you?
I have yet to race Super Nationals. I've yet to race Boone in general.
I have yet to go to the IMCA Boone Super Nationals just as a fan, yet alone a driver. So that might be in the cards for this year. I don't know. We'll have to see. So if you race this year, do you need a pit guy?
Well, I'm sure. We'll have the bunny down there, the Boone bunny.
Oh,
The Boone bunny's always a blast.
yeah.
Yeah, we even got him convinced to actually, be the Boone bunny at Raceway Park a couple times, but we'll see how that goes.
Well, we'll see how that goes. Going to TikTok here, Bradshaw Kevin 19B just got tickets for Bristol on dirt and still have tickets to the World of Eldora from last year. So look at that. Austin Brands, you know Austin, and this dude has a full schedule. Austin being an IMCA stock car driver, US 30 Speedway, Beatrice Speedway, I-80, Jackson Motoplex, Boone Speedway, Marshalltown, Rapid Speedway, Buena Vista Raceway, Clay County Fair Speedway, Kossuth, Hancock Speedway, Fairmont Raceway, and possibly Batesville. So Austin's got a full schedule ahead of him in 2021.
Yeah, absolutely. It also looks like there's quite a bit of other full schedules out there. Jared Jackson, he says he's going to go to Columbus and Eagle. Tim Pritchett Jr., he's been a regular at the new Raceway Park.
Yep.
He plans on making it back to Raceway Park. He also says he wants to go to Off-Road, I-80, Shelby County, Blackbird Bend. There's been talk about that opening back up down
there
in
has
Ottawa.
been.
He plans on going there if they open. Dustin Jackson, a lot of the same. And I'm guessing he's going to be very excited about our next guest on the show here. He says he's going to be in Columbus, I-80, Beatrice, and Deschler. So I'm assuming we know what's going on there.
Might be sneaking off to the Nebraska Dirt Crown Tour. So time will tell coming in March. Of course, you will hear from Scott Angel later on here. Big Papa Racing, otherwise a good friend of mine, Brian Harms, out of Norfolk, Nebraska, Columbus, and maybe if he can keep it on the track. Brian took a hard roll actually in 2020 out of the park at US 30. He was okay, so glad to see you doing all right. Albion, Norfolk, and probably Stewart, just depends on his work schedule. Tayton Van Sickler says Raceway Park. He's always there in the grandstand, so glad to see him there. Who else do we have for answers there, Cody?
Well, looks like we have Sean Edward says he's going to Wagner and Stewart, possibly off-road. Troy, I can't butcher this last name. Benke?
Troy Benke, yep.
Yep, he's plans on going to McCool and Albion. A lot of Raceway Park guys in here. Gary Graybill.
Yep.
Going to make it to their Rock Rapids.
Moving up to hobby stock, actually.
Is he?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, that would be great. Our old friend Alex Austinson of Aok Photography and Design. He does some really cool work there.
Yes, he
He's
does.
going to be hopefully at his home track this year a lot in Montevideo. That's Fiesta. It's got Madison Speedway on his list. Ogilvy. I'm horrible at pronouncing this. Viking Speedway, KRA. He's really an all-around guy. He is going to make it to Rapid Speedway, he says.
Yeah.
And he wants to come back to the new Raceway Park. He said he planned on coming a couple nights at least. Hopefully that'll play out for him.
Yeah, I was talking to Alex just the other day, and he's been wanting to do some repairablevehicle.com tri-state late model shows. And I said, Rapid Speedway, you'd have to check that out with the tri-states. They always put on an awesome show there. So he said he was going to definitely look at the schedule. Truckin' Dad 75 here on TikTok says, Jackson, Houston, I-90, Knoxville, Rock Rapids, Slayton, and maybe Boone and Fairmont. So a lot of people going to a lot of different tracks here in 2021, and that is just great to see. And, 2021, we're actually seeing full race schedules coming out, Cody.
Yes.
And we cannot wait to get to all these tracks and get packed grandstands once again.
Yes. Raceway, we got kind of, I don't want to say spoiled,
Right.
but we really did. We were one of the first to open up. There was a lot of controversy. I mean, everybody heard about that from that side of things.
Yep.
But they really did a great job. I mean, they made sure everybody was safe. They did it right, and it really set the model, just like Steve and Denny were hoping to do.
Yep.
And it set the model for the rest of the rest of the country, and got them to open it up safely.
Yeah, and we still had a great 2020 season. It was a long, hard season, not only for just, like you guys at Raceway Park, but just for everybody in the racing world. But, we adapted, we got through it, we survived. Now moving on to 2021. So that is the 4-Orange Salvage question of the day today. We're going to do the 4-Orange Salvage question of the day for next week's episode. And I'm gonna ask you right here, right now, Cody, do you have a pre-race ritual or a race day ritual? And if you do, what is it?
Well, a race day rituals, I mean, it varies. It depends on what I got done throughout the week. Because sometimes it's last moment. We've talked about the procrastination.
Yes.
But usually it's getting everything loaded. I'm not a load the night before guy. I wake up bright early, 8 a.m. I'm doing tires. I'm getting everything loaded. When we are done, usually it was me and my pit crew, Bobby, was my main pit crew this year, while Jeremy helped out on several different vehicles as well. We'd sit here and we'd play Wreckfest to get it out of our system.
Yep.
Just get that bad luck out of the way now, all that frustration out of the way with Wreckfest.
Right.
That way we'll have a great night racing. And I don't think it worked, so we're going to change that ritual next year, but yeah, that's my ritual.
So that's going to be the 4-Orange Salvage question of the day for next week, episode 6 for the podcast. And so if you have a race day ritual, what is it? Or what is your race day ritual if you have one? So that's going to be the 4-Orange Salvage question of the day for next week's episode. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to hear from our title advertising partner in Rapid Graphics, as well as the Sodak iRacing Series. And when we come back, we'll hear from Scott Angel and more about the Nebraska Dirt Crown Tour. So stay tuned.
Rapid Graphics, located in Rock Rapids, Iowa, on the corner of Highway 9 and 75, specialize in graphics and signage of all types. They specialize in indoor and outdoor signage, banners, commercial vehicles, custom logos, race car graphics, and much, much more. Rapid Graphics have the tools to get your job done, and you can find them easily on Facebook at Rapid Graphics 12. For more information, contact Rapid Graphics for all of your custom graphic and signage needs today.
The Sodak iRacing League is the premier iRacing league for drivers, crew members, fans, and sponsors in the tri-state area around South Dakota, Iowa, and Minnesota. From street stocks to super late models, modifieds to sprint cars, the Sodak iRacing League does them all. You can follow all of their seasons live and free on Advantage Racing TV. For more information, look for Sodak iRacing on Facebook or join the league by searching for Sodak under the Leagues tab on your iRacing account.
Welcome back to the Announcers Booth podcast presented by Rapid Graphics. And Blake does an amazing job at Rapid Graphics. Cannot thank him enough for being the title advertiser here for the show. Facebook having a little trouble, so you can contact him via phone call or email, and the phone number for Blake there at Rapid Graphics, 712-540-9894. You can give him a call or send him a text, or you can email him at shipper35@gmail.com. And Shipper, that is SCHIPPER. The number 35@gmail.com is how you can reach him. And also the Sodak iRacing Series, great season they had here this past fall in 2020 to end out the 2020 year, actually. 9 different winners in 10 different races, only 2 repeat winners. And oh my goodness, it was such an amazing event. I know you've watched some Sodak series, and those guys really know how to drive some cars.
Oh yeah, and I got to give it to them. That iRacing's not as easy as it looks.
No, it's not.
No, not at all. I tried my hand a little bit this last weekend, and it just, if you thought I was bad in a hobby stock, you should definitely see me race iRacing.
Oh man. So Scott Angel is on the show. He is our guest today, and we talk with him about the Nebraska Dirt Crown Tour coming to Nebraska to US 30, I-80, Beatrice, and Thayer County Speedway in Deschler, Nebraska. And he just talks about how this tour came about and they got a lot of giveaways. Oh my
Tons.
goodness. And it's just amazing what these guys are doing. So without further ado, here is the interview with Scott Angel. Coming into the Sodak iRacing Series phone lines, it is one of the guys behind the Nebraska Dirt Crown. This is an awesome tour that is taking place in March, from March 25th to the 28th. And Scott Angel is here to tell us more. Scott, thanks for coming on the show, man.
Oh, thanks for having me. It's great to be with you guys, and we're excited for 2021 and the things to come with the Dirt Crown Series.
Now, the Nebraska Dirt Crown, I know it was supposed to start in 2020, and then thank you to COVID-19, the tour could not take place. So getting more things ready and set up for 2020. What exactly is the Nebraska Dirt Crown Tour, and what can we expect from it in 2021?
Well, you're going to expect to see, I would say, the nation's best race car drivers right here in Nebraska. Four tracks in Nebraska: US 30 Speedway, I-80 Speedway, Beatrice Speedway, and the Third County Speedway. We'll do 4 nights, modifieds paying $2,500 to win each night, the Sport Mods $2,000 to win each night, stock cars $1,500, and for all 4 nights this year in 2021, we did add the hobby stocks to pay $1,000 each night. So each payout per night, and we'll go to 4 different tracks in 4 nights. So it should add not only some excitement with the drivers, but different tracks to challenge them as well.
So how did this idea just come about then? I mean, we've seen a lot of great drivers come out of Nebraska, and also, in the Iowa and South Dakota areas as well. And you've seen tours like the Midwest Madness Tour, the Dirt Nights Tour. How did this tour come about just for Nebraska? Because we really haven't seen anything tour-wise come out of Nebraska for a few years.
Yeah, honestly, this has kind of been one of those tours that's been in a bank for a little bit. I got a crazy mind and finally got to partner with Rob Marsh. Rob is a race car driver from the late 90s, early 2000s, and rookie of the year in the modifieds, and won track championships in stock cars and finished everywhere but up front as far as the number 1 spot at the Boone Super Nationals in a hobby stock. And so a lot of great racing experience with Rob as well. And he came to me with the idea, it would be 2 years ago in August. It was right before Boone came about. And he said that he had the idea of maybe doing a couple races in a row. And I said, Rob, hold up. And I started to tell him my ideas. And between the two of us, we had a lot of the same ideas. And so it was really easy to work with him. And we put this together. I think August to October, we announced it. And then, partnering with some great sponsors to make it even bigger and better. Crate engines to give away for the modifieds, the Sport Mods, and stock cars. We'll have a built 360 engine by John O's Racing Engines, a 602 and a 604 crate to give away from Left Turn Crate Engines out of Idaho. So it's really snowballed into a really big thing, and a lot of it's due to the great support of everybody we have.
Now, one question I have for you is, when you were trying to get this all together, how did you come up with the tracks? Was there, did you want the small tracks? Did you want the larger tracks like I-80? What made the decision on how you organize that?
So the biggest thing is, what's funny is we really didn't even have 4 tracks to start with. And we sat down with 3 racetracks, and 2 of the 3 are on here, and then the other one didn't want to go. So we're not even at original game plan on racetracks. One of the biggest things that we looked at was 4 days and 4 different racetracks, logistics for racers, and nobody wants to go on tour and drive 4 or 5 hours to the next racetrack. And so what we looked at here was, we can travel to all the racetracks here in literally an hour, little over an hour between each racetrack. Makes it real easy for the guys to enjoy their night, get up in the morning and cruise down the road to the next racetrack and not have a hard travel day at all.
So what was the drivers and fans' reaction then when you come out and announce the Dirt Crown promotion, the Dirt Crown Tour? What was that initial reaction like, just from the drivers and fan standpoint?
The drivers are super excited, and I don't know if it's because they get to come to Nebraska, if it's because we pay good, if it's because it's something new and exciting. We have drivers that have committed from Michigan and California and Texas and Oklahoma, Arizona, Wisconsin, all over. And the biggest thing that we've heard, throughout 2020 and 2021 is they really like the fact that they can get in a lot of laps and not have to travel too far in between. So a lot of excitement. We were able to partner with some pretty cool folks in our video that we did this year. Cody Hicks, country music star, on the rise, regional guy, helps us with the promotional video, and on Facebook and social medias, it's traveling really well, and you can just see the excitement building, whether it be from the fans or the drivers, and I think some of the contingencies that we've been able to put together has really drawn a lot of excitement as well, for both the drivers, the crew, the fans. Everybody's excited.
And I know just from a lot of driver standpoint in Nebraska are just excited to see a tour finally in their home state as well. And just the level of competition in Nebraska, I think this is going to be a great tour overall as well. Just for not only just the Nebraska drivers, but for other drivers, like you said, from all over. How was it getting the word out then for this tour, and what all had to fall into place for this tour to happen, just to come about, I should say?
Really, the biggest things that we had to fight was just logistics with racetracks, and racetracks are always going to make sure that they watch out for themselves, and rightfully so, because it's their business and what they do all throughout the summer. So the biggest thing was just to get racetracks to be able to work together. IMCA came on board last year with us, and they're signed on for 2021 again. And with those guys coming on, it really helps smooth out the racetracks working together and whatnot for that part. As far as getting it out to the racers and whatnot, it's really kind of interesting. We always talk about how racing is one family, and this deal really shows that. We had drivers, like I said right away in Nebraska, they're obviously sharing it, but you could watch it on social media move from Nebraska to Wyoming to Utah to Nevada to California to Oregon, and then it obviously went east the same way. It would go to Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Missouri. It kind of moved the same way, and you could watch that happen, and racers sharing it with other racers, and inviting and challenging other racers to come. We have some really stout competition, like you said, right here in Nebraska. Those guys, they can go about anywhere in the country and hang their hats at the top of the list. But now it's going to be, can they defend their home turf? Because the out-of-staters will be coming to knock off the Nebraska boys on their home turf.
Oh, especially, and if I've learned anything from announcing at Nebraska racetracks within the past year, it's the drivers. They're there to stay, and they will defend their home turf at all possible.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. We got guys like Jeff Ware who are national championships in the hobby stock, and we're gonna have the nation's best hobby stocks come take him on. The Wilkinson boys, another real local guy to US 30 Speedway, but you go to Beatrice and Roy Armstrong and Adam Armstrong are a family name that's a staple down there, and really we throw in Thayer County, and it's kind of a place where who can be the guy at Thayer County. It's a racetrack that in Deschler, it's been closed and opened a few times, and so nobody's really raced at Weekly for over, I think, 10 years, 15 years even maybe. They just resurfaced it again this winter for us, and it should bring some really exciting racing action. And I-80, a guy like Jason Knoll or Luke Ramsey, a NASCAR national champion, and Luke Ramsey, he signed on already for the Hobby Stock Tour. So it's guys like that they are kind of their home turf guys, but you're going to get the best. And so who can knock them off? And the racing's going to be great because of that.
Absolutely. And you mentioned some other giveaways as well. Who all helped sponsor this event just to make this dirt racing tour possible?
Well, like we mentioned, Left Turn Crate Engines, they signed on right away with us, and we started off with a 604 crate engine, and before it was over, they had a 602 crate engine for us. Those guys, that really made us a big splash right away. John O's Racing Engines and Big Daddy Race Cars, they came on, and Murray Hagen and Wade Wagon Blast and some of those guys came on, and they made it so we could do a stock car engine. And Jet Racing, Johnny Sadoff, can't say enough about him. He's been a supporter of this deal from the word go. He's actually worked with another individual, and we got fuel to give away to racers. So we'll give away fuel cards for 5 gallons of some fuel for the modified or for the sport mods, hobby stocks, and stock cars. And then some VP methanol will go to the modified guys, 10 gallons per each certificate there. And it's stuff like that everybody's getting creative here. We got the great folks at Noonan Industries. One of the things that will make our tour a little bit unique is our points leaders in the modifieds, the sport mods, and the stock cars. Starting on night number 2, we'll run the Noonan Industries gold mud plug. They don't offer a gold mud plug. They signed on right away with us to do gold mud plugs. So our leader, instead of the orange spoilers, we're going to do gold mud plugs. Aero Race Wheels has been a great supporter of us. Stardust Racing, obviously our racetracks, US 30 Speedway, I-80 Speedway, the whole Kaziski family, Beatrice Speedway, Sayre County Speedway down in Deschler. Bob Harris Enterprises has been a great supporter of ours. D-Sign Shop out of David City has been a great supporter of ours. Slezak Racing Carbs. Slezak's going to give away a carburetor to the hobby stock folks, and all of our drawings for the engines and the carburetor are going to be, if you race 4 nights with us, your name goes in the hat. It's not who wins the most or anything like that. So that's something a little bit unique. We're going to have a Sibisma graphics pull award. So obviously $100 pull certificate goes to the guy who sits on the pole each night from Sibisma Race Graphics, something that's kind of an upper end deal, but it's pretty cool. Carriage Motors is back on board with us again this year. They're going to be our official pace truck or pace vehicle of the evening. We mentioned Aero Race Wheels. I think we have like 76 or 80 wheels from Aero to give away this year. Josh Bloomer in the Midwest Trailer Depot, great supporters. They're going to provide us a hospitality trailer so that can travel with us each and every night. Drivers will be able to check in there, and any pay and stuff like that will be taken care of that trailer. Wasson Brothers and the WB Twin Seal for the hobby stock guys, great folks again, adding to the contingencies. The Lichty's Good to Go right there in York, right off the interstate there, real big truck stop. Last year they started giving us fuel cards to give out to our racers, and it got us through last year, and we still have some, and they're getting us more for this year again. So it's great to have those folks. One thing we mentioned was IMCA's involved. All these races will be a Fast Shafts qualifier. So for their All-Star race at Boone, these races will all qualify for that. And again, Pat Fagan on Fast Shafts, not only his All-Star race, but he's right on board with us again. We'll have plenty of certificates to give away from Pat and the folks at Fast Shafts. Rinky Manufacturing, they're a great supporter of ours. Friend Freightways, kind of cool. We'll have a Friend Freightways Victory Lane traveling with us each night. Weir's Machine, they're on board with us again. Addison Performance, Justin Addison, he's a stock car racer from the Norfolk area, and I'm sure, Scotty, you're no stranger to hearing that name.
Yep.
But he's jumped on with us, and he's gonna be a supporter not only on the race side, but obviously his business wanting to be involved as well. Conklin Oils, a great partnership we have there with those folks and the New Crown HP. Seeing more about that here shortly. Trey Dunsing, another racer that's supporting this deal with his trucking company. Trey will most likely be in competition with a stock car and a modified. but yet, helping and support this deal. South Central Irrigation is another sponsor that we have. The list just goes on and on and on, and we're constantly looking for more and working for more. If anybody out there wants to be part of this deal, we want to be creative. Last year, we had worked on a slide job of the night, and we're working on trying to get that secured in here to where the fans can vote on the slide job of the night, and whoever gets voted the best slide job of the night gets $250. That's something that Cody Thompson and some of those guys will live for. They may not win every night, but they are the show every night.
So there's something like just for everyone on this tour, not only just the drivers and crews, but the fans getting involved as well. Just such a great thing. And for people who can't make it to the racetrack, where's this race going to be broadcasted on, or is it going to be broadcasted? Where can we find the Nebraska Dirt Crown Tour?
So Nebraska Dirt Crown is in a multi-year deal with Flow Racing, and Flow Racing has been great to work with. The old Speed Shift, and that's where it kind of came to tuition, was the Speed Shift folks. Can't say enough good about Chet and those guys and helping us out. But with the transition over to Flow, it's changed things a little bit. But excited, you can watch the Chili Bowl on Flow, and you can watch all the races coming up here with the late models in Florida on Flow. And to say that Nebraska's Dirt Crown was right there with them for the first year, I just hope folks aren't disappointed, and I don't think they will be. The level of racing that we have is going to be top notch, and we're going to have officials that travel with us. So none of the it's a Beatrice official, it's a Beatrice racetrack, it's going to be a Beatrice guy winning. We want to nip that in the butt right away, and we'll have an all-star crew with us, from race directors to scorers to flagmen to pit officials. Billy Lloyd supposedly retired from the flag stand, and he's on board with us for 2021 to throw the flags for us.
Now, with this all-star crew, is that something that you guys decided to bring in, like impartial third-party people then to make sure that there were no favoritism and try to even the playing field as much as possible?
Most certainly, yeah. I mean, we've tried to dot our I's and cross our T's the whole way through this, and we don't want to deter anybody from racing with us here in Nebraska. And if there's something that we can do to make it better, we're definitely doing that. One of the things that we feel is the more we can benefit the racers, the better it's going to be for everybody. And so everything that we've done has been racer in mind.
Yeah, and that's awesome. And definitely, from what I'm hearing, being a driver myself, that's definitely something that is very, very appealing to me, is just the fact that, hey, I can go here and not have to worry about a local boy or anything of that sort actually getting the upper hand just because of it,
Right. And that's the thing, we want everybody to come. We don't care if you're a guy who gets raced 10 times a night or 10 times a year. We want you at our race for 4 of those, and we're going to make it worth your while to be there, to maybe make it to where you can race 15 times this coming year. And the crate engine giveaways and the John O's racing engines, that kind of stuff is all part of why we want to give back to the racers. For our pre-registration, we worked up a goodie pack. We have $335 worth of certificates. If you send in your pre-registration, you get $335 worth of certificates before you even come to a race. So left turn crates again. Can't thank Don and Sonia enough out there in Idaho, B&B Performance. Great folks to work with. John Allen and Allen's Automotive out of Chanute, Kansas, coming on board. Dave Zamperini and the Zamp Racing team, helmets and suits, stepping up with certificates for that. John O's Racing Engines, Design Shop, Noonan Industries, again, $335 worth of certificates just to pre-register for the tour. So, it's something that's kind of unheard of to do that, but that's what we want. We want to be unique. We want to be different. We want to stand out, and we want to have a great time.
Now, where can drivers find pre-registration to register for this race? And can you register like right at the gate as well, or do you have to be pre-registered for this event?
You can register at the gate. Obviously, the goodie packs aren't going to be available when you register at the gate. Right now, just due to simplicity of things, and we say simplicity, it's easier for us to keep track of everything and make sure everybody's getting taken care of. We're just having everybody mail their registrations in. So Nebraska Dirt Crown on Facebook has the registration form right there. Print it off and send it in to our P.O. box in Hebron. And it's really something that we're old school, but we're old school because we want to make sure the drivers are getting taken care of. We've seen some issues with some online stuff that we've watched lately, and we don't want to have that problem with that. So registration is old school, and mail your registrations in. We're going to be at the Racers Winter Swap Meet this Saturday, the 23rd in Columbus. Stop by and say hello, and we can get you registered there as well.
So look up the Nebraska's Dirt Crown on Facebook for more information. And just such a great event, and glad to finally see a tour coming to Nebraska with some great sponsors, and like you mentioned, all those contingency sponsors as well, and some great giveaways. Everything from fans to drivers and crews is just awesome. I love what you guys are doing out there, Scott, and want to wish you the best of luck in 2021 with the Nebraska Dirt Crown.
Well,
yeah.
We appreciate that. We really do appreciate that. And, it goes to you guys too. Everything you're doing, anything that any of us can do to make racing better, that's what we all need to focus on right now, and focus on the racers and making sure that the racers are taken care of and the fans are awarded with a great show. We want to make sure that everybody's having fun. We don't want anybody to go home sad, and if there's going to be a giveaway, we're going to make sure that we get it given away. And we're still working. So the list that we just said, there's more to come. We're not giving up, and we're going to continue to make this deal a better deal. And there's some things in the works that are going to make it bigger paydays even for the racers. We do have a points fund to the top 10 in each class. But there's also maybe one or two more races each night that we're going to get in for drivers as well, to give them a little extra incentive to come, and maybe a little bonus money for racing with us. So definitely things are still working, and we're not going to stop until it's perfect. And even if it's not perfect, we're going to go with it and make it better the next time around. But we're going to keep adding for these guys and keep adding for the fans.
Awesome. Well, hey, thanks for joining us here today. It's been a pleasure. Sounds like an awesome event for this Nebraska Dirt Crown. I know I will personally either be watching it if I can't make it out to the track myself, but definitely thank you for your time today.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much. And thank you, Scotty, and the whole Announcers Podcast group. You guys are doing a great job, and keep it up. Thanks again.
So once again, Scott Angel there talking about the Nebraska Dirt Crown Tour. And dude, this tour is going to be huge. I cannot wait for March 25th to come around. And what a great deal, just not only for the drivers and crews, but for the fans as well.
Right, absolutely. I mean, all the giveaways, the excitement, the action, the wide variety of tracks they're going to be running for those 4 different tracks. There's definitely something for everyone.
So definitely something for everyone. March 25th through the 28th. They start in Columbus, Nebraska, and end in Deschler at Thayer County Speedway, also with I-80 Speedway and Beatrice Speedway as well. So go check that out on Facebook. Nebraska Dirt Crown Tour you are not going to want to miss. We're going to take another quick break here from Advantage Racing TV and Aok Photography and Design, and we'll be back with upcoming events right after this.
Advantage Racing TV is your source for local entertainment in the tri-state area. From compacts to late models and sprint cars, Advantage Racing TV has just what you need to cure your racing ailments. Check them out online at www.advantageracing.tv and take advantage of your racing addiction.
Aok Photography and Design is the place for all your photo needs. Aok does racing hero cards, blankets, canvas, racing sponsor photos, as well as other personalized items. Located out of Montevideo, Minnesota, they can get what you need at an affordable price. Check them out on Facebook for more information, and you'll find that their guaranteed service is A-OK.
We are back with the Announcers Booth podcast presented by Rapid Graphics and Aok Photography and Design, a good friend of you, Cody, and Alex celebrating a birthday this past weekend.
Yeah, he did actually. Saturday, I believe it was.
Yeah.
I kind of lost track of days.
Yeah. So him celebrating a birthday. So happy birthday, Alex, and thank you for being part of the show. Upcoming events brought to you by Advantage Racing TV and Aok Photography and Design. You can catch the G-Force Racing Leagues Monday and Thursday on YouTube, presented by, or I should say produced by Advantage Racing TV. But that's not all. They have more. They do a lot of races throughout the week, so go check out their YouTube channel, G-Force Racing Leagues, and they've got 360 cars, street stocks, big block modifieds, 305s. They've got everything, so go check them out. You can see the races produced by Advantage Racing TV on Mondays and Thursdays, and it is really great to check out. Also, go check out the Nebraska Dirt Crown Facebook page for more information about the Nebraska Dirt Crown Tour. We talked with Scott today, and just, oh man, everything that they're doing, just not only for drivers, but for crews and the fans, everyone's involved. Go check that out for more information. Drivers, you can find more information on how to pre-register there. And yeah, just go check it out. I was just blown away.
Yeah, don't forget, I mean, guys, motors. I mean, for a 4-day tour, which is insane. I mean, the amount of stuff that they have, like you all heard them say. I mean, motors, all these contingencies. I mean, in every one of the tracks that you're going to be at, you're not traveling more than an hour. I mean, definitely, it's very racer oriented. He wants to give back to you guys. Let's get out there. Let's make it a good deal.
Yeah, let's definitely do that. And I mean, it's going to be worth it. So the Nebraska Dirt Crown Tour coming to Nebraska March 25th through the 28th. So be sure to go check that out. And for more information on Facebook, look up Nebraska Dirt Crown. I want to thank Cody Boulware for hosting the show today, man. It's been an honor hosting with you, man.
Yeah, always. It's a blast hanging out with you, Scotty. You know that.
Always is. And I also want to thank Matthew Broadus, Jerry Van Sickle, and Sean Neested for helping out on the show as well. And thank you to Scott Angel for being on the show. And Cody, cannot say thank you again once enough. Until next week, be smart, be safe, and have a great day, everyone. And we will see you next week on the Announcers Booth Podcast.
Yep, everybody enjoy your Wednesday.